All right, let's talk about TradingView. Now, I use the TradingView app versus doing it online, thanks to the recommendation of one of our members, Craig. And I enjoy that a lot. You can do different tabs where you have different products up, a different combination of products. Like I kind of have a mega tech thing where I add all of these tickers together, and that way I can see what are all the mega techs doing at the same time. Where I have it, where is the price? There it is. Jeez. Let me get rid of those. Okay, great thing. So reset the chart. Come down, you should have these little icons, and you can click reset, and it resets the chart. And then if you move it, it gets weird. So what you have to do is go on the vertical axis, slide up or down to where you can change the pricing. I don't know why any of those are old stuff. So you can stretch the vertical axes, you can stretch the horizontal axes to do whatever you want. So let's go back to ES because that's what I basically trade. Not basically, that's what I trade. Every now and then I might play with something else, but ES is really the focus of this group. So your chart will not look like this when you land on here, but at the risk of sounding rude, if you want me to look at your chart and make any critiques or anything, it needs to look like mine. I've tried to look at other people's charts with different colored up and down candles, and it's just too much. So I don't do it. So my rule is if you want me to look at your chart needs to look like mine. So let's talk about that. In fact, let me come over here, TradingView. Okay, so in the Discord group, I put my settings here. Okay, so I'm going to show you that live, but there they are screenshotted. If you don't have an account, use my little link if you don't mind. They give me a little bit of money. That's kind of cool. You're going to need this data subscription right here. It's like $4 a month for you to get real-time data. You're going to need that. Okay, so let's get your chart looking like mine, or at least have the option to where you can easily make it look like mine and then switch back to yours. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you right click and you go to settings, there's a template down here. For example, I have mine as George Dark, which is what you see here, which is what I want you to look like. And then I have one called print settings. So when I hit print settings, it changes everything. To where many times I'll at the end of the day, I'll mark my levels and I'll print it out on my printer and go set down. Or I might print out a clean chart, print it out, grab a pen and a ruler and go draw my lines. So you can have multiple settings, but if you like pink candles and orange candles and a fuchsia background, I don't want to look at that and I won't look at it. But you can save that as a template for your pink and fuchsia. But save one as George or Micros Trader Group or whatever. So I'm going to switch it back to dark. Oh, that's so much better on my eyes. So under these settings, you're going to change these deals. So for the body borders and wick, these are the colors I have set. If you click that, you can change it white, and it's this blue halfway down. You can use a different one if you want, but white and blue is what I'm going to need because I know if those are accumulation candles or distribution candles. That's important. On the status line, you can do whatever you want. These are my current settings I have. I want to know what my indicator titles are, values, what my open, high, low, close values are. And that's really valuable. So when you scroll over a candle, up here at the top, it'll have open, high, low, close. I like to know that, so I click that. Scales, I have high and low price marked. I don't want any overlapping values. Countdown to the bar close. I do want to know that. And if I'm on a 3-minute, I like to know how much longer before this 3-minute candle closes or how much longer before the 30-minute candle closes. So I want to know that. Under appearance, this is where I have my background. I have it as a gradient. I have like 2 different grays selected. It works really nice for my eyes. The vertical grids, they aren't even really visible anymore. I used to have them on, but it turned out I don't really use them that much. You can do session breaks if you wanted, to where it would put vertical lines showing you when the day ended and when the day began. Some people like this watermark. I think that puts the symbol in the middle of your screen. See this writing? I don't like that at all. I turn that off. I like to give myself some top margin and right margin. So I have those set to how I want. And then you just come in here. Once that's done, hit Save As, and you can save the template as me. Where if you want something completely different, have your personal template, but then have my template if you ever want me to look at your charts. Okay? So right click, settings. All right? So let's talk about, this is probably like Photoshop. I use 5% of Photoshop, 95% I don't use. Probably the same thing with Tradingview. I'm going to show you what I use though. So we're going to start down here on the bottom right, because this is actually one of the most important things. It's called the object tree. This is where you can put lines in folders. Okay. So before we go anywhere, I'm going to turn on this folder, and it's the colors I use. I want to see where that is. Let me go to a bigger chart, because I had this set. There we go. I had this set for showing one of our members, and I was like, oh, let me save that under a folder. So, in fact, I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to put it in our Tradingview folder so people can know what color my lines are. I recommend you use the same, but I don't really need to know your colors. My colors, I just need to be able to see your lines. Now, the colors of your candles need to be the same as mine. I can't look at your chart if not. So the 15-minute or less, I use this blue. 1 hour is yellow, pink is 4 hours, daily is red, weekly is purple, and monthly is gray. Those are the colors I use. So the cool thing is I can mark those things out, and I can put them in a folder. I can turn on and off any particular element I want. Like I really don't need those. Or I can turn the whole folder off, and I can collapse the whole folder. And that, my friend, becomes very valuable, because what I do is, like, I have a weekly, monthly folder. So let's just talk a little bit about charting while we're talking about folders, because that is all important. So when I start my day every day, I go to the monthly. And I'm looking for my hold levels and my break levels. And so I have them in my weekly, monthly folder. So here's my weekly, monthly folder. In fact, I have not done this since the close of Friday. Let's give this a fresh set of eyes. So my monthly is the gray stuff. So I can't mark this monthly right here. I'm going to mark it. Oh, come on. Mark it. Let's go to gray. Let's go to solid color, because that's what my monthly is. Because price obviously tested it. It already went back up through it. So I can't have that marked. Now, if you're coming in at this exact moment, this might be relevant information. So here's the backside monthly and the front side monthly. We have come down to those monthly hold levels. Will we bounce? Most likely. So we're going to see what happens now. So there's monthly. There's really nothing else for me to mark on monthly. Let's go to weekly. Weekly is my purple. Look at this. Look where price went. It went right up to this backside weekly level. How cool is that? Price shot up strong. Let's go to a daily. Look at that. Let's go to a 4 hour. Price went right up to the weekly backside level and bounced. Guys, this stuff is incredible. Incredibly accurate. All right, so is there any new weekly markings I need to make? None there. We did hit this weekly break level down here. I'm going to keep it there. This is a weekly hold. This is, I'm going to add a note here, which you can do. So take the line, double click it. There's style where you can choose color. You can choose what kind of line, how thick you want it, what color you want it. And a lot of times I will add text. So this is a weekly plus monthly. It's a nice note because this is a weekly backside and I already have a monthly. So I want to know that that's a weekly and a monthly. And that is at 41. So we have another big level at 41. Look where price went this week, guys. It went down to this weekly break level and a monthly hold level and bounced. Okay, so I don't have anything else on the weekly. If I did, let's pretend I needed to put something here. I could draw this line and notice it put it up here. Okay, I'm gonna draw it again. So you see how it puts them up there? And then if I want, I'm gonna delete them. Delete. I take this, I drag it down to the weekly and monthly. Now I can turn it on and off, and it only shows my weekly and monthlies. I can select this, delete it. Make the folder go here. I'm going to turn it off. Now I'm going to go to my daily folder. And on my daily folder, I do the same things, guys. Actually, that's a fair value gap. We're going to talk about that stuff later. All right, so for my weekly, I am red. So I'm going to come here. I need to mark this with my red. I don't think I have anything else new. Let me come over here on this side. Oh, I'm on the weekly. No wonder that looked a little weird. Let's go to daily, George. All right, let me go back over here. Make sure I didn't mess up my marking because I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. Yeah, this marking is incorrect. Good catch. So this is a hold level here. Hold level. This is not a backside. Another video we talk about, this is not a backside one because this white candle is blocking it. So I will not mark that one, but I'll keep this one marked. Look where it came down to, right to a daily low. Let's scroll over here. Let's find that. All right, this is a hold level from November of 2020. 2 years ago, it still honored it. If you're not a believer, you should be now. These levels can hold for a long, long, long time. Institutions have a much different holding period than you or I. So there's the weekly folder. So we're going to go monthly, weekly, daily. So while we're right here, let's talk about those for a second. I can click this little down arrow, and whatever I star will be right there permanently for me. So you can see what I have up here. So we just did daily. Now let's go to the 4 hour. So I keep 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minute in one folder. So let's go to the 4 hour. I want to see if there's anything new I need to mark. Okay, for me, I just realized one thing was not in my colors I use, because I started marking my 30-minute levels with orange. I'm going to have to, when we're done, I'm going to have to go back and add that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that post. Okay, so I need to go back and add orange. So I'm looking at my 4 hours. So I'm looking for the bottom of white candles up here. There's a bottom of a white candle right there. I'm going to make, so we're on a 4 hour right now. I'm marking that as my 4 hour. I can't mark this one. Why? Because it had 2 candle separation and it was tested. That had been a beautiful short. I have this I can mark, but man, these are dojis, kind of weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write on here doji. That way I know when price gets there that if I go to a 4-hour chart, that's going to look kind of weak. All right, let's go to a 1 hour. 1 hour is yellow for me. So I'm going to make a note here. 30-minute plus 1 hour. I know it's 2 of those. So I need to mark this, but I need to change the color to yellow. All right. Now, is there any more 1 hours? Not up here because this wick came up here and tested it. Do I have any down here? I sure do. I got a 1 hour right here. I got a 1 hour right here. So I know we got some 1 hours down there. Just knowing where I'm at. All right, that looks good. Let's go to the 30-minute. Do I have anything I need to add? Let's come over here. Anything down here? Okay, this is a 30-minute. Now I'm going to show you another feature on TradingView, which is kind of cool while we're doing this charting. So I put this line and it's yellow. Well, one of the things I can do is I can click this and I can choose the different color, or you can come here and I can save different lines. Like, let's say this was the overnight low. It changed it to white and it put ONL, so I know it's overnight low. So you can do save different kinds of lines, which is really nice. I'm going to make this orange. I'm going to delete that and put that there, so I know I got a 30-minute level right there. Ooh, and I got a 30-minute level way down here, which is nice. Okay, then I'm going to take all these items. I am going to put them in my 30-minute to 1 hour folder, turn it off. Now I can turn those on and off. I can add my daily, weekly, and 4-hour lines very simply. And I can take them back off very simply. Okay, so I think that gave you a little bit of, and then I just keep charting, and then I go down my levels. So let's, and you know what, for the sake of completeness, let's finish our charting. So after I do the 4-hour, 1 hour, and 30 minutes, to be honest, I drop down to the 3-minute. The 3-minute to me is home base for charting. And I actually call that folder cotton lines. So let me turn on my cotton lines. And I want to remove this fair value gap out of here. And I'm going to put that in my fair value gap folder, which we will talk about another time. Okay, so my cotton lines are on. I'm looking for my 3-minute hold and break levels because I want to mark those. Remember my break levels. Well, my break levels are dotted. My hold levels are solid. So I've established a nice little range right there. You can do copy and paste on these lines as well as a quick way. I use a stream deck, which I'll do another training on. So when you see me draw a line real quick, you're like, how did he do that? That was on because of my stream deck. I'm going to talk about this arrow in a minute. So on my stream deck, I have a button called last line, and I just push it in whatever line I used last on the stream deck is the line it'll put. All right, so I framed that out. Now, those are all the break levels. And if you haven't went over this yet, you'll get them in the break and hold sequence. But I'm showing you my charting here of how I go through my day. Highest time frame down. Okay, that all looks great. So I'm going to gather all of these, drop them into my cotton lines, and get rid of them. Okay, so the object tree, this little thing right here, is really important. And you can turn it off. The top one, you can program to have different symbols and whatnot you might want to follow. And push that and it closes it. Up here, based on your plan, you can choose different configurations. So I'm going to show you mine right now. If I hit Option Enter, it'll go back to my configuration. So what I did is I picked this box and I hit Option Enter, and it makes it big screen, option enter. It goes back to my chosen 3 chart layout. This is in a little bit of flux. I usually have this on 1 minute, this on 3 minutes, and this on 30. The 30 is really important for market profile. It's important to where you get a little bigger picture. So it's kind of more the zoomed out type of view. So this is really nice. One of the things that I do as well, which I'll show you, this little thing is clicked here where a new drawing is replicated on all charts. Well, this chart, you can see how it's replicated there. It's put on both charts. These top 2 charts are the exact same symbol. They're ES. This bottom right one, I have it as the current contract because I only want to mark half-hour levels down here, and it's an easy way to do that. Notice when I move these crosshairs, it does it on all panels, which is really kind of cool too. But this, if you have this smashed, whatever is the exact same symbol, it will duplicate and put it there, okay? For simplicity, I'm just going to keep this on 1 pane for right now. But right here is where you can change that, okay? And then actually here, you can choose what you want replicated, what you want to sync in the layout. I just have crosshairs synced between the different layouts. Then up here, if you want to use a replay tool, just to show you real quick how that works, you can press that replay. I can put this little thing here, and it's a way to replay the day. You can press play, and it'll just start going through it, or you can do it candle by candle, which is typically my favorite way. So if you wanted to play with drawing levels and then pressing play and watch what happens, you can do that. Undo it by doing this. On anything you draw, this box will come up. It'll give colors, line, what type of line. Then if you press that little gear, it's basically the same kind of options. But one of the things you can do too is you can set an alarm. So you can say, hey, when price crosses this area, send an alarm to me on the app. And if it's on your phone, you'll get a little pop-up on your phone, which is kind of nice. So in any line, you can set to where, let's say, use that. I only want to know when I'm not even going to trade till it gets over this level. Well, set the alert, walk away. When you get the notification on your phone, you know to come back. Or you can set alerts right here as well. Indicators. This is where if you were interested in indicators, I have a group of my own favorites, which we'll talk about another time. Candlesticks. And remember the minutes and seconds. Whatever you want up here, just star it. And then on this side, you can go through these little tools. And once again, if you star them, they will appear on this little panel. Where if I want to draw a triangle, which I often do in my training for the group, because I want to show peaks and valleys, it's an easy way for me to show peaks and valleys. Sometimes people are like, George, hey, what are you looking for? And I'll say, well, I'm looking for price to go here, then come back and hit this backside, and then we're going to go there. That's what I'm looking for. So it's an easy way for me to illustrate. For you, you'll want this horizontal line for sure, so you can customize it and do whatever you want with it. The vertical is very important because in the mornings, I'm going to check Financial Juice and Forex Factory. And, you know, if at a certain time, you know, FOMC minutes, I'm going to put this on my chart so I can slide this back, you know, wherever the time is. That way I don't forget. So you want to use this horizontal ray for sure. Vertical for sure. You're going to use rectangles as well. There's this brush tool that if you wanted to use it to draw arrows, there's actually an arrows tool. there's this thing. It's somewhere buried over here in one of these. It's a fib, and sometimes in the ICT strategy especially, you are going to use a fib, and there's lots of different ways to program that, but I like to have a fib. I also like this little thing here. This one, I can measure price from here to here. How far? That's 36 points. You can also come to this little ruler over here, and this little ruler is kind of cool because you can measure vertically 26 points, and you can measure horizontally, and it'll tell you how much time. Like that's 2 days, 4 hours, and 27 minutes. So that's kind of cool. So you'll figure out which tools you want to use. If you want to hide this bar, down here at the bottom left is this little star. You can hide it and you can bring it back. If for some reason you needed space, you can hide it and bring it back. So go through each of these things, play with them, see what you might like to use. It's even a text thing right here where if I wanted to add some notes to whatever, you could add notes to your screen. You could say, hey, I want to take that and drop it into a certain folder and then turn the folder off so I don't have to see it again. That's an option. So that's the basics of Tradingview. Oh, this magnet tool is really important. I want to go through everything. So magnet tool, when I turn it on, what it do, it will snap this to the top of a candle or to the bottom of the candle perfectly. That way you're not off. It can be annoying as heck when you use other tools, so you will turn this thing on or off. Let's say eventually as time moves on, you will have a lot of lines on your chart. So I'm gonna actually, let me go to a daily. You go to daily and like you get all these lines that you've been accumulating over time, and you're like, oh my gosh. Well, if I wanted to see my chart real quickly, I can just hide them and bring them back, hide them, bring them back. Go to 3 minute, and you can hit this little reset and it'll reset everything. Then I use the vertical to unlock the auto set, bring my lines back, and now I'm only looking at what is relevant today, because all those lines above me and below me probably won't be relevant, but if for some reason price shoots up 100 points, they become relevant. Let me look at my Discord for a second. Yeah, I do have one thing called recording your trades, and we're going to use Tradingview. I'm going to go ahead and talk about that right now, and I'm going to re-record it just for that little section in case you ever want to reference just that part. So here's what I recommend you to do, and it's a really cool thing to do. So hold on, I want to find, let's go to the 1 minute because there were some levels perfectly, because I just did this little video for price action. So here is a hold level. Price came up, touched it, bounced, perfect short. Let's say you got into that short and you wanted to remember that. Well, here's how I do it. So I'm going to delete this line, and I'm going to use this tool right here that will let me just draw a line at a certain distance. You could just do a line and you would know, hey, I went short there. I typically like to add, that's exactly where I went short. And then I might add, I went 5 MES short. I made 10 points total. Now I have this notes setting here. You can grab all 3 of those. I can make a folder. I'm going to call it entry. So I made an entry, and now I can turn it off so I don't have to see it. But at the end of the day, you know, let's go to a 3 minute chart, because one of the things you're going to be encouraged to do is to draw these lines every day as an end of the day chart. I can come in here and click that on, and now I can see all my entries based off price action. How cool is that? If you could see all your entries, it just takes a second or so to do it. You can put it in a folder and hide it, and you don't have to see it, and it works beautifully. Okay, guys, that's a quick tutorial. Now, you can go to YouTube and there's a million other videos on how to use this thing. I do want to mention one more thing. So down here at the bottom, it's got this ETH. You can put electronic hours or regular trading hours. And I always keep my chart on New York time. That's just me, because that's the times that things are operating. If you want to put your own time zone, you know, Chicago, I would put it on Chicago, but I keep it on New York time. ETH, which are, you know, hours, you know, futures trade almost 24 hours a day, almost. You can trade at night if you want. You can trade early in the morning if you want. Make sure you're on electronic trading hours. Another neat little feature, you can click this little calendar here, and if you wanted to go back in time, why aren't you working? There it is, just slow. I can go back in time and pick a date and say, hey, I want to look at this week of trading. Easy thing to do. All right, guys, that'll do it.